All right, everyone. Welcome to Gold Rush Sunday Watch List. It is 11/21. We're heading into Thanksgiving week, so our watch list is going to be a little fun and interesting to start. Let me share my screen, and we'll get a quick little SPY overview, and then get into some other stuff that we're looking at. Let's gamble. All right. So overall, the week we basically trended up all week. We opened up Monday higher with a gap up, came down, but we still made a higher high from Friday, then another higher high, inside bar, higher high, and we even made a higher high on this past Friday. So we had a trend up, but we slammed right into this resistance at 470.65. I think we actually made an all-time high at, what was it? 470.94. So we beat it by 30 cents roughly, but then got pushed back down. So that's right now we have basically 4 taps right in this 470.25 range that we got into. So overall, I'm probably thinking that maybe we get another pullback day on Monday and possibly make another run at it. But with that being said, this week, because of the holiday, is going to be pretty light volume overall. Sorry, I'm seeing people coming in and I don't know if Jay's handling that, but it's going to be light volume overall. So with that being said, it can kind of go either way, right? Like we might just chop sideways with the light volume. We might get retail to push up some things with their own volume. But the first 2 days will be the lighter volume. And then Wednesday will start be much lighter. And then Friday's a half day. Markets close at 1 p.m. And that will literally just be degenerates trading. Everybody else will be taking the day off after Thanksgiving and enjoying their family. And us degenerates will be here looking for something to scalp. Now, I know last year on the Friday, there was a couple fun runners on the Friday to kind of scalp through. Also, last Thanksgiving, there was, I think Boeing was just starting to heat up on that Friday and then continued the week after. So we'll look for maybe some kind of continuations there. One thing about this week as well is the theta. The theta will start burning you up. So think of it, we're missing a whole day of the week with Thursday, and then Friday's a half day. So in terms of theta on the weeklies, think like Wednesday afternoon is more like your Friday morning, and stuff just starts burning off. And then if you carry anything over to Friday, if you don't sell first thing in the morning, you're going to see that theta really hit you hard on those contracts. So be mindful of that if you're going to swing anything through the holiday. I'm personally probably not going to swing anything. I'm going to be pretty light overall trading, just based on the volume's going to be low. We're going to get a lot of traps, a lot of fake outs. So make sure all your confirmations are getting checked off and you're not getting caught in any of that stuff for the most part. So yeah, I think SPY, if this was a normal trading week, I think we'd see a day pull back into this little range here that I have the 2 gold bars, like 468, somewhere in this range, and then start heading back and give it another test. But with this trading week, I can't be 100% certain of that. If we do test the 470.50 range again, I'd like to see it give up. Let's take a run, maybe early in the week, even maybe they kind of institutions say, let's give an early run on Monday and Tuesday, and then let it chop the rest of the way or die out back into this zone for the end of the week. But overall, I don't have too many high expectations for this week, to be honest. I do have Uber, which had a double inside week here, inside week here. And then on the daily, we got an inside day. It's really tightening up in this range. So for me personally, I'm going to put lines here and then a line here. And since I'm really only going to be day trading, I'm just going to play these into the tops and bottoms. I'm not going to be super worried about stuff overall in general. I'm going to play whatever's given to me, as should you. So overall, you have a dollar move here, which we can make money on, and then your second price target is going to be right there, 48.74 on the upside. Now, this kind of pattern it's not quite a flag. I mean, some people do like those square flags. I personally like them getting real tight into the edge. But I mean, this has a look overall that's fairly bullish. You can play it to the downside, and then if it breaks this 42.44, we're coming down even further to probably 41.34. So again, dollar rips at a spot. And then McDonald's also a double inside bar on a weekly, but this one has more of a flaggy feel, especially when we kind of get in to the daily a little bit. Trend and boom. I don't know why that's so big, but boom. So we kind of have a better look there on a daily. A similar thing as we break these highs for safety, I'd lean more for a break of this candle here on the upside, and then pull this one down to probably that one. So break at 254 for McDonald's to the upside, with the first price target up here at the all-time high of 257. So a nice $3 move. That should be pretty clean, fairly easy. And then downside 253.25 down to here, 249-ish. And then our next support here at 246. So McDonald's, again, that double inside bar, it's just tightening up, looking for a move. And as you move into lower time frames, it kind of looks a little cleaner. Let's get this and see it move into here. Maybe on Tuesday get a pop if it doesn't break out on Monday. And what else we got? I have PEP. And this is also a double inside weekly. It's very interesting. We had so many inside bars on the weeklies. Again, go to the daily. You can see the range tightening up a little bit. Just keep on making higher highs up here, come down, consolidate, and might be ready for a run. For this one, these are a little thinly traded, so it's not going to be top of my list, but I will be watching for it for over the 165.14, and then to move to 166.43 and keep going. What else? Oh, AMC inside week, and then the day, I believe, is an inside day as well, pretty much. So, and we have, this is kind of still trading in that big wedge, symmetrical triangle. So, you know, again, as we get into these triangles, and I mean, that's probably too steep for JCats overall, but like, let's see what the weekly looks like. You kind of got the overall angles too steep, but you still have a triple tap on the weekly and had a little pullback, and let's see if it fights through that. So I like the overall look of AMC, and I love these triangles overall, these symmetricals. I mean, to me, they're some of the best plays. The safe play for anybody new, the safe play is we want to break over this top trend line and hold for it to lift off with price targets. Your ultimate price target is going to be these highs over here once it breaks out of this symmetrical triangle. And then if it comes down to the bottom and breaks the bottom trend line, that's your entry for puts, with your ultimate goal being down here. So to me, overall, it makes it easy. Any break over here, send you the calls. Any break down here, you take puts. And that's why these are one of my favorite patterns, because they tend to play out pretty well. And for those that are newer, I always compare this to a spring. Price tightens up into this end of this triangle, and think about a spring. When you push it together and tighten it up, it explodes out. So in a symmetrical triangle, same thing happens. The price explodes out, and these price targets hold up pretty well. And then my other one, I didn't like the firm overall. And then I did see master, which micro strategy, which Jay likes to play, is sitting on support. Came down, gave an inside day off support. So we could see a little pop here. So for those that like expensive things and are fancy, a break above 739, and this kind of has the pivot machine gun toe, making lower lows. So for that, break above 739, and we have easy scalp targets to the top and bottom. Boom. Boom. And then we have a small kind of gap here where that would be. So you have potential for a $50 run, $40 run for the most part, if we can get above 739 and hold. Now, if we don't get above 739 and we can't hold this 715 per se, then we can run it the other way for puts. And it does feel bearish here, but it could hold this 715 area and bounce a little bit before lifting off. So that's kind of the patience part of this. We want to see what it does on the support. Think kind of PayPal, where I've been saying we want it to hold 200, but we also are going to wait till it gets over 212. And what happened this week? You got over 212 and then slapped right back to 200. And that's why I've kind of been saying we want like 2 days confirmation of over these numbers. For this per se, since we're going to just be day trading it, if it gets over, we're going to look to kind of take it in the 750, 763 overall. That's really, yeah, just like Bitcoin, like JCat, it's all Bitcoin. Oh, is there a volume shelf there too, Hans? I don't have my volume thing on. So yeah, so support, what a surprise, support's right on that volume shelf, right? And literally, I want to say it's almost right where you would expect it to be, right? And if it falls through, look at the volume dying here and where it comes down on the next one. So yeah, and it's right on. You can see that it popped up there, Hans. Yeah, we should have known about the AMC GME with the full moon lunar eclipse and everything. Yeah, JCat, didn't you know? They brought that to our attention. I think Ian brought that to our attention. And
yeah, no, it makes me laugh every time we talk about it.
And I love STB and Fab and all, but every time they bring it up, I still laugh too, because I'm the one who was like, oh, let's do it. There's a script for it. Let's track it. And now,
yeah, I know. It's so weird that it kind of works.
Yeah, now I think I'm the surrogate for lunar trading.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Whatever.
Yeah.
A system's a system.
Yeah. So it makes sense for like GME and AMC, right? Because don't they say the full moon brings the crazies out?
Yep.
So right on. Get crazy and buy some GME. But I wish that GME pop would have happened on Monday. We all would have been set.
Yeah. Tell me.
We're all early on. Jay, you got anything you want to go over before we get
I really only have two things. So
I'll stop sharing, you can share. I'll take, oh, there's STB.
I think I just got her.
Yeah, as a whole, I kind of gave a preface. I don't know if you heard it, but a preface that, this week is just going to be super light and.
Yep. I got it like right at the beginning. So yeah, I mean, that's why I don't have much. Blink is one of them, and it's not even that really that nice looking, but yeah, I mean, just to give my overall thoughts, I'm just playing it by ear all week. I don't really have much of a plan. It's just going to be too light of a week to really get a gauge of what's going to happen a week out. So Blink, triple top, broke out, and here you can see it tripled here. It didn't even hold it. Like it just went immediately. And I think I talked about this on last week's. I was looking for a couple days worth before it made this move, but it didn't even have a chance to hold it, and it broke out. But now all it's doing is flagging right back to that triple top area. And what do you know? We've got a volume shelf right there too. So this is not the prettiest, especially with these past 2 days that just came in. But if we get a nice little run, Blink being a low float day trader's dream, this could get some run, simply because we just don't have much going on. And the other one is Yoga Pants. I didn't even chart it properly, but not. I mean, it is a triple tap, 1, 2, 3. I'd like to see another day or so of consolidation, but I like to see the tap spaced out a little more than this. But this does have all the elements of it. More than anything, I just like this kind of pattern right here. It's kind of a flag, a bit of a ascending wedge or whatever they call it, or high tight flag. So I'm just kind of playing momentum on this. For me, this would be, and for everything, I'm basically, these are day trades, maybe 1 or 2 day swings into Wednesday, full day Wednesday. So into Wednesday, I would not probably hold anything to Friday, but this has a nice little look. Honestly, that is all I've got. And so I looked at a couple of the other ones though that it was put out there. But if you got more, ask, go for it.
I just tracked the tickers that people put in. So
okay.
I was writing them down. I just put them in the chat so we could track easily. So FSLR,
Vertigo.
and Hans, I think the natural gas, I was going to double check with you. I think the natural gas that you're talking about was SWN. That's the one that people got were smacked on Enrico's. So yeah, it's still like 5:30, I think, Fab, but it's still moving slow.
Yeah, Southwest Energy. Yeah, this is the nat gas. You play nat gas. Honestly, if you want to play nat gas, you play it in spring for the fall run.
Yep.
It's already, if it's dying here, it's like, it's not going to really pick up until December when it really starts getting cold and we really start getting people saying that they're using a lot of energy. But you got to play this one early. Like if you look at, this is nat gas futures, and you look at April, May is when it really made the run, and it's just doing this. So, I mean, that's a big triangle. That's a big flag that it's making. It looks really nice.
A lot of distribution looking like though too.
Yep. So I mean, it could break out of this, but for it to do that, we're gonna need reports of it being an extremely cold winter, colder than anybody was expecting, and I think they're already expecting a really cold winter. So we've got to see, like, Hans, we're from the same part of the world, so polar vortex type shit on extended basis, not just a day or two all winter for this to change. FSLY though, the first one, or FSLR, sorry. I mean, it bounced off this value at high. So the value at high is basically within, it's the standard deviation of this whole volume profile. So the value at high is the 1 or 2 standard deviations above. Value at low is 1 or 2 standard deviations between, and basically it's all of this based on all of this volume that came in here. So FSLR bounced off of that value at high. 50-day was right there, broke above it. This red line here is the 8-day. Couldn't really break above with any sort of, authority. So my guess is it's probably just going to fart around up into the 20-day. If it can break through, then we've got 125, 123. But my guess is we just kind of move to the side unless Biden says something about solar or about alternative energies to get this really start going.
Disney.
Yeah, Disney bounced off the 50. Oh shoot, sorry.
ugly.
Yeah, it's ugly. I was looking at something else. Yeah, this is a dying chart. I mean, if you really want to be bullish on it, you've got that descending wedge. God bless it. You've got that descending wedge here. If you're into those, I don't like them.
That's like a chart that I stay away from personally.
Mm-hmm.
For everybody out there, like I'm not gonna play anything on Disney until I see some sideways action.
Yeah.
Because playing anything to the downside, you're trying to catch a falling knife, and anything to the upside, just a quick pop, probably take you back down. So I'm not playing anything until I see some consolidation somewhere. It's just too ugly of a chart.
Yeah.
For new traders, like you see a Disney pop up, you probably stay away from it because it's more of a scalp or a day trade that isn't necessarily for new traders. And if you ever have a question and you see something like that, shout out to us and we will happily tell you stay away from it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm putting lines out here. I don't even like them.
Yeah.
You can just put them there.
You got to remember, we put a lot of plays out and they're for all different types of traders. And the key, if you're a new trader, is we really want to kind of help you find the type of trader that you are. So then you understand when you look at a chart, the things to play. And that's when I say, like, I look at this and this is an automatic no play. I just move on. I don't even put in lines. Like Jay's put them in to help you see what he's like, if you want to play it. But to me, I just move on. I stop looking at it. And Jay probably does the same thing.
No, yeah. I wouldn't touch it until 157, 158, 160 or so. I mean, it's got so much work to do that we'll find there's way easier plays out here than trying to time this bottom. I mean, what's your upside, right? Like, even if you caught this, you've got roughly 50 points, which is great, but we can just play shop on Monday and get 150 points.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, there's way too much.
Agreed.
BNTX.
I have them up on a notepad, so. That kind of looks nice. I mean, it's been kind of taking runs at this 290, 300 area.
Yeah, so this orange line here, that's the 100-day. You can see that it's kind of respected it quite a bit here. That's really the last time it's touched it since here. So this is a lot of up days in a row. And now we're about to get into another place where it's going to respect. So, like, I mean, it cut through the 20, cut through the 50. Now we're playing odds on how much is it going to cut through.
That through the 20 had some decent volume on it to push it through to, and that's a good candle end for Friday.
Yep. So, I mean, we're kind of triple tapping here, right? So my guess is, and that just happens to coincide right with the 100-day. So my ideal situation is touch 300, few days sideways, let the 20 catch up, let the 50 start curling back up. The 50 curling was going to take a lot of work, but the 20 curling might not be bad, or it won't. So if we can touch this 300, hold through, I would say all week would be really nice, just to give this time. It might not do it, but just to give time for this blue line, which is the 20-day, to come back up and give it some push. This would be a really nice play if it played out that way. You know, we could see into the 370s, 380s fairly quickly. You know, it's got a history of being able to run. So
I'm gonna put a note on, and I'll put a level alert for that 300 for us.
Yeah.
Just so if it gets off our radar, at least that pops in and we're like, oh shit, let's look at 300 as it's tapping in.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, Tesla, Tesla was on my list too. I forgot about this one, just because I feel like we talk about it all the time. Fab, I'm getting my kind of the same feeling as I had Tesla right here. You know, I think it's jealous. I think Tesla buyers got jealous that everything else was running these past couple of days without it, and popped over the 20, held it, hammered on the 20 again, opened up beneath the 20 and just obliterated it. So this isn't any sort of swing setup for me because I would never want to buy 5 days after, after a 137 point run. But I think we're probably going to get some run to 1200 this week. So we'll probably get some day trades out of this, is my thought, or maybe like a 1 day swing or a 2 day swing. Tell me if you see anything different, but
No,
that's
I'm
kind
on
of my
it.
feel.
It was kind of funny Friday that Rivian news came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty much looked like the money just flowed right to Tesla. Like you could see it starting, like Rivian was looking pretty bearish, and then Tesla started lifting off. And so you almost saw the money coming right out of the people that might have sold a little Tesla or threw some money at Rivian, like, oh shit, something's happening, and start rolling money into Tesla, the short bet at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see the same thing. I think it's ready to go again.
Shoot, I left it.
NVDA.
Video's kind of the same thing, like just day trade. It's probably going to go up. I mean, I don't really see any reason why it won't go up. And just look for entries to day trade it, because this is not really a swing trading pattern. Like outside of gap up, kind of a gap and crap, but lo and behold, it found support right where it should have, and then gap up and go after that. T's already got like what, 1,000, 2,000 plays called on this for next week.
I don't think we have anything on it right now. Deep.
Really? I thought he had a bunch layered out for this week.
Maybe
I think it's
The 370. I know for a fact the 370 because
Okay.
I, like an idiot, took the 370 thinking he called it for this week, this past week. So I know that one for sure. And we'll probably get that. I think if you're not in, from what was this, Thursday, or if you're not in from Friday.
Okay, he does have a 370 and a 400.
There you go. Just find day trades out of it, because we're probably going to explode up. We might get a dip back down to, what was the high here? 327.60. We might get a dip down to there, and then go. Maybe break beneath it a little bit and then go. But all of our lines are levels. They're not lines in the sand per se. So my guess is Monday we dip back and then just start going again. Target, I think, was just look like shit.
Yeah.
They
had to pull back with the news, right?
Yep.
Earnings.
I mean, I'm looking downside, and I'm looking towards the 50, 246, and that's really not anything. $4 on this isn't going to get me excited. My guess is it pulls all the way back down to the 50-day, curls on the 50-day, and then starts marching back up towards the end of the month. You see anything else?
Not really. I think that's pretty ugly overall too.
Neo, if I remember correctly, was in no man's land. Yeah, this one was the one I was thinking of, holding the 50. But there's so much congestion right here. And we've got moving averages and then all of this buying and selling within here to deal with. On the 5 here.
Yeah, if anything, there's a day trade set up for it.
Yeah.
Because it's on the daily.
Yep.
But the Chinese news, I personally have stopped playing most Chinese tickers. It's just not worth, unless they're on a good run. Like Neo likes to move a couple bucks and gets running on the day. Unless it's in one of those momentum plays, I'm really staying away from it. Just they're not trading well enough, most of them.
Yeah, and look at all this, all this volume, is just congestion. So we're stuck in the middle of it here. I don't even have to draw a triangle or draw a shaded box. Like the volume itself just shades it all in. They're this is just congestion. So, and if we go back, let's even go back to the 5 year.
I mean, that's a big head and shoulders there too.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah, it's head and shoulders.
I mean, it's just been playing this for a year and a half.
Yep.
Since last September. You know, it popped above it, but it almost came right back into it. And then now it just can't get out of it. So at least it's giving you defined targets. You know, you want to play it down to 33. If you want to play it up to 55. But it's just, where do you get in? This might be a spot here because it's holding the 50, but then it's got the 20, and then it's got the 200. You know, it's just got a lot to deal with here.
So the only thing to think about with NEO is they have their investor day on the 17th of December. So maybe this is the spot where we start to get our little free run up, or we chop here and maybe even come down to 35 again before the run up. So it's really in a weird spot for anything.
Snap looks like shit too. I had this triangle. I didn't redraw them before these days. This was actually up, and when I drew this, it was on the 12th, and we bounced up. But all we did was just hold the 20-day.
That's just the fake out.
Yep.
The opposite of a dip and rip.
Yep, exactly. It was rip and dip. So
Yeah.
Ripped to the 20, held it, came back, opened up at the 20, couldn't do anything. Tried to break above it, couldn't do anything. Gapped up above it, couldn't do anything. Now we get this rip. So this triangle is playing out to the downside. So basically here, I guess there, and then this big gap that right here. So here's all your downside on it. I wouldn't even look to take this long at any point soon. 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, basically every $5 are your downside targets. I don't think it's a $30 stock, but as of right now, it's clearly not a $55 stock.
Doesn't really matter what you think it is.
Yeah. But here's our levels, and this is how I'd be looking at it. And again, it's already made its big move out. So if you didn't take a short anywhere around here, this is your confirmation outside. So either now's your time, you take it right on the open, or you look for a little bit of a pullback to this area, this 52, 53 area, for then continuation again. This is the last one I have on the list. I know there's more after.
Yeah, they just popped a couple more, and I'm trying to line them up.
I mean, I just hope Macy's builds a flag here. It's something in this general look. That big gap up after earnings, it all faded basically. So my guess is we see it come back down to down into the gap here to 32, 36 at the bottom of this wick into the 33s, and then it's going to figure out what it wants to do. It's either just going to keep fading, or it's going to probably curl and start moving up. You know, it's a Christmas. It'll be a Christmas play if people are buying at Macy's. I don't know if people shop at Macy's anymore.
And if retail takes over, they'll be all over the Thanksgiving parade, right? Is it still Macy's Day?
I believe so.
It's like stupid shit like that that's gonna run because of.
Yeah. But I wouldn't touch it until it comes back down to 33, or it maybe could even just gap up and just kind of start building it up here. But these typically, when you see big day up and a big day down right after, these typically are going to start searching for these natural kind of supports. Might even close the gap before it goes. But as if you want to take over on the rest, the other ones that came through. I'll come on. There we go.
Let's see. So we got Dix. J-House loves Dix. For those newer members, that's the old running joke because he made a lot of money in this area on put up, not there, wherever the daily put break was. Last earnings, I think.
Oh, I only see Lucid on yours.
You see Lucid, not Dix? I switched it over.
Maybe mine's slow.
People see Dix or no? Let me see. Oh, for some reason my screen's paused. Why would that pause? All right, let me try again. Give me a second. All right, there.
There we go.
Now I should probably see Dix. So the joke was J House made some money back here on the
Short
puts.
Dix.
Yeah, short Dix and loves Dix. But they have earnings this week. So last earnings we had a gap up. So I think that's part of the idea of watching it. So if you want to get a run up, I think as earnings Tuesday morning, I think it was, or tomorrow. You can find that out too. Yeah, possible run up. Give me a second, I'll get that earnings. Where does Huey post those? There it is. So Dix is Tuesday morning, and what was the other one? Bed Bath and Beyond. Best Buy. That's Tuesday morning. Xpeng. So that's interesting. Xpeng is reporting earnings on Tuesday as well because they're inside week, inside day. So that's just showing a lot of indecision as well, ready to go. So overall, like if you want to play the run up, I'm not playing it until it's over 140.73. That's our line really right now. It's actually probably just a teeny bit lower because I didn't have the magnet on. But yeah, 140.35, somewhere in there. And then below, it will be just the opposite of that candle there, like in this area. So below 136. I don't know if I'd short this to start, especially with just a day. I'd like to see a run up and take it out and try to go for these all-time highs back at 147. That would be nice. 145 as your target, really. $5 move if it breaks over 140.35. Again, this would be just a day trade with earnings being on Tuesday. Get a day trade out of it and maybe hold a runner. That'd be ideal. And if they crush earnings, go. I feel like the past 2 weeks, if they sell off heading into earnings, those are the ones that have been ripping. Like NVDA sold off right before earnings. What was the other one? Didn't AFRM sell off a little bit and then jump $20 or something like that the next morning? So keep that in mind as well. That kind of the pattern's been that way. Doesn't mean it's going to hold. So either way, if you're going to hold through, just be prepared to get smacked. Again, lower volume. Who knows what's going to happen? With Best Buy, what the world? Best Buy, I mean, we're already kind of at all-time highs. We look at this long run up on the weekly. And then let's get into daily. We're kind of having a little exhaustion here. So this, for me, is actually a prime candidate for shorting. But with earnings coming up, that could end up backfiring as well. So if I really wanted to short this below 132.60 probably, any close, I'm looking to take out all these, especially on the weekly. So like a bad earnings would just probably help you take out this. This is that pivot machine gun again, and a really good one. The one thing I don't like is the buyers came in last week and really pushed it up. But it did consolidate and still has a little look of exhaustion. Morningstar on the daily on Friday. So anything over 137.25 is going to invalidate kind of that short thesis because we're going to have to wait till we find exhaustion again. But I mean, same thing, right? Earnings, you get slapped as a whole. So I mean, me and JCat will forever say, like, don't play earnings unless it's one runner or one you have a really, really good feeling or you got some insider knowledge or something. And if you have insider knowledge, I'm not saying share it with the group or not, but yeah, you know what to do. Just messing. But yeah, I mean, you'll always hear the same thing from me on earnings. I'll give you the roundabout levels that we wanted to break, but I don't want anybody swinging through earnings unless you got a couple dollars to spare. I rarely play them, and I only play ones that I have a little bit conviction about, which I had NVIDIA this week because I had conviction. I thought, or I felt, and we shouldn't be playing off feelings, and that's the problem with earnings. It's all about feelings. Lucid, another strong candle, and I saw STB say she felt she saw it kind of lift off with Rivian news as well, and I guess you can kind of see it at the end of the day, a little lift off. It had a big move to start though. Back in that $60 range, I can see it. Let's see what tomorrow brings us. If you really want to play a day trade, you just want to beat Friday's high, which with all this, we might see a sideways day first before going to try this 60. But, you know, these stocks don't really have rules. But that's kind of a break of 55.21, sell into 57.75, leave a couple, and then 60 would be our next natural psychological number if we do get running. Overall, I'd probably like to see at least a day, maybe 3-bar play us, give us a resting day before taking off, and then what would that estimate to be? 47 to 55, 8, 63. Take us to 63. I'd like that. And look at the fib, 62.82. So I could definitely see a 3-bar play kind of working out here, something to keep an eye on. If it is, so one thing when you're charting stuff or you're watching stuff intraday, as you're watching, if you realize that we're just chopping and it might set up an inside day, there's no sense in getting in when something's just staying in a short zone, right? If it's just going between 55.21 and say 54.50 or something like that, there's no reason for you to be jumping in when it's just a chopping day. If it's just, especially this week where theta is going to eat you up, stay away from it until it actually makes a confirmed move for you. If you take one thing out for this week, it's that. We're only going to try to play the confirmed moves to save us from getting eaten up on theta. That makes sense. Here's my chat. I'm lost. Best sell.
I think that's everything.
Anybody got any last minute things? I mean, we're right up against.
If you want to look at Facebook real quick for Jeff.
Yeah, for certain. I like it. It made that reversal. I think Jeff actually called me out. Hey, did you get in your own alert? And I did not because I was too busy watching. So what I saw on the Facebook daily, and this yellow line is the alert that we saw. And what happened was we gapped up, then kind of started flagging down. And this basically it's a spinning top just on the bottom. I forget what they call those on the bottom, but that doji is essentially a reversal when you're on a bottom of a trend. Pretty indecisive, but I like that it closed over this gap back here. And it kind of, you can see that we're kind of building up a nice demand zone in here as well. Where's my rectangle? Kind of building a demand zone here. So it came and respected that and closed. Actually, probably even a little tighter. So it came and bounced right off it. Closed above this support line. So essentially I wanted to see us get above this area for us to start getting bullish again to head back up. Now it got up here and got pushed down real hard, but overall I still like the chart. We might stay in this yellow zone. This has kind of been another little supply demand zone that has started and has been holding up as well. So now maybe we want to see it get over this 346.50 and for continuation. So if you're not already in it, that's the line we're going to look at, 346.50 to take it back up some more. But overall, we got a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders with shoulder, and then hold on. Got to pull it up so we can see head. So again, that's a bullish pattern. Your neckline would have basically been right here that it tapped and was breaking out. So we kind of broke through, retest it, and now we're on our way back up. So it kind of works out perfect in my eyes for a more bullish scenario. 360 by the end of the week, I won't ever bet against T ever. So I'd say sure, it's in the play. I mean, we had a 39 to 52. So that my brain's $13 move. Why couldn't we have it again? That puts you at 65 or actually what was the close? 13. So in 2 days, why not? 2 $10 days, you're set. You're in the money. So yeah, and I'll never bet against T. Yeah, we covered Tesla. My fantasy team's getting smacked, man. I'm more worried about trading than my fantasy team, Jeff. If you really want to see fantasy team, I'll show you. So Tesla, Dean, Jay's getting the tingly feeling again, and which means that he basically a little late because he must have started drinking a little early. Back here on this day, literally, hold on, where's the Friday? Yeah, it was the 22nd. Friday closed. Jay tells us, man, I think Tesla's about to go parabolic. And we're like, you couldn't tell us before the end of the market? And don't you know, that thing gapped up and never stopped. So he said he's getting the warm, tingling feeling again. I like it here too. Kind of create a little base and it's ready to rip back up and try that, 240-ish? Yeah, 1243, yeah. 1243. So definitely think that's in play.
EL, Qualcomm, and Moderna.
Yeah. I thought somebody was just saying like El Chapo. Like they just kept on saying El.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
I had no idea.
Estee Lauder. Okay, yeah, that would go with Ulta. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But I hate those candles. I hate a bunch of wiki candles, especially on the daily. They're just fighting both ways. They got a dividend coming up on the 29th, so that's next week. Most scenarios, you get a run up into dividend depending on the final buy day, and then sell off once the dividend's out. So overall, it's not a horrible looking chart. If you want to day trade it, which that's what we're looking at this week for the most part, over 353.45 with the spot of 356, so $3 move, and then we're into all-time highs. What does the overall look like? Got a little bit of double bottom lifting off. We're over that now. Retest of the resistance, previous all-time highs. Excuse me. So
kind of an ugly cup and handle, or an ugly handle.
Yeah, getting ready to break out or trying to.
Yeah.
What does the weekly look like based on all that? Probably a better cup and handle.
Almost 3-bar-ish, but not perfect.
Yeah, might turn into a 4-bar actually, right?
Mm-hmm.
There. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it could run. It's not at the point where we think that it's at exhaustion just yet. I don't necessarily like all the wiki candles here, but anything lower than 347.82 would leave me on the short side. Your ideal spot, again, is creating a box. So I'd kind of handle it more like this. Break of either side of the box is your play. In general, this is probably actually a tad tighter. So yeah, break of either side of the box, a louder, send you up. And then Ulta, I'm guessing they look kind of similar. Not completely.
I like Ulta better.
I do too.
Triple tap.
I like Ulta a lot here. Triple tap right there. He had a fake out. What's that?
Now I got to put it on my list.
Yeah. I mean, that's even better for you, right? You got the fake out on the third tap, consolidate, start moving back into it.
Mm-hmm. Whatever that little purple one is, 9 or an 8, I assume for you.
9. My purple are always 9.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, that looks much better than Estee Lauder. That's probably going to go. I got fibs on it too. So we got 422, 438, then 460 basically.
Yeah.
Hey, Fab, look,
that
it did
number.
exactly, look at that. It did exactly what we thought it would do. Surprise. What did that end up being? Like 600%, 700%? Yeah. So for those coming in, this big jump, me and Fab kind of sniped this right out, 800%. We kind of said kind of the same exact idea that we did on PayPal, where we wanted to hold a certain line, and then as it lifted off over 370, we wanted to enter calls. And I forgot to set my alert. Fab had her alert, and she crushed it. So that's the matter of same thing. PayPal, we're going to be a little patient and wait for it to break. Very same idea. What else did we say? Alta, L, and or
Qualcomm.
Qualcomm and Moderna.
Yep.
Come on, get out of my way, chat. QCOM. So I looked at this earlier too. So this, in my thought process and look, is again reaching exhaustion point. What I mean by exhaustion is as price moves into higher ranges, is it getting pushed down by sellers? So on this engulfing bar, pushed down. Next day, got high, got pushed down and closed below the engulfing bar. Then this one came up, got pushed down and gave us a spinning top and closed inside the high of this bar. And now we have another doji. This is basically an exact doji. And again, it started up, got pushed up, and now we got pushed down below this close. So this is starting to look really exhaustive to me. And the way I would play it, because it's almost inside bar, I would actually be a little more on the tighter side because this was such a tight range overall. And over 186.60, you can play it for the $2 here, or since you're at all-time highs, we don't want to get smacked again right there. The safe play is for it to actually break and hold over 188.72. But in general, in my mind, if we get a couple, like a 15-minute close or 2 15-minute closes below the 182.30 line, we're going to get bearish for a little. And we're going to have our first price target at 178. So a $4 move on a short week, that's going to pay some bills. And then we lose that one, we're coming all the way down to here, 169. Probably if we switch to the 1 hour, we're not going to have a whole lot in between. So we could have a little slowdown in this range, 174. So still a break of 182, and we could see 174. So an $8 move, and on a short week, that could pay. And remember, that's part of it. We want it. That's healthy for a stock. When we get a big push like this, gap up and look at that run, to have us pull back into these ranges is good for us. And that's why we play both ways. Pull back in and then take off again, flag, right? So just something to keep an eye on. Like I said, it feels exhaustive to me at this point. I don't know Jay's overall feel. If he wants to chime in.
I would just wait to see what it does over the next few days. Probably play it next week. Just to see if it flags.
Moderna. And Moderna, I mean, it had that nice move on Friday, right? And that's kid vac news, but even that, this candle isn't the greatest candle. I mean, the 9 started coming back up. This is the bluish 20, I think. Yeah, the bluish 20. So it got over the 20 and respected it.
Throw the 200 up there if you can.
I can. Hold on, that's the 20. I'm new here. So 200 is this one now. So it respected 200. I don't think, yeah, that's the 14, not the 20. There you go. So it kind of got stuck between the 20 and the 200. Probably the 50, isn't it? Nope. Yeah, so the 20 and the 200, it got stuck between for the most part. So those are basically going to be your support and resistance in this no man's land. And, you know, see the 20s kind of eyeing up with what your resistance would be up here anyway. And then same thing, 200's kind of at the top of this gap. So we kind of wait and see for it overall tomorrow and this week. Again, these are another ones that I see and I stay away for a couple days to let it actually play out and tell me what it wants to do.
One last one, AMD.
AMD. Why didn't we go over AMD?
Because I hate it, so I'll never talk about it.
This one, started its another run, got over the all-time high, gapped up over the all-time high, then got pushed through, tried it again, fell through again, and closed below. So again, a little exhaustive, a doji inside bar. So if you really want to day trade it, it might be the setup tomorrow on the day trade side. My magnet is on. I like these tight dojis. Now at the top of the trend, I would lean a little bearish, especially with this price action here. But AMD kind of does what it wants to. So if you want to play for the day trade, the safe play is actually for it to create new all-time highs, similar to what we were looking at on the 2 charts ago. Qualcomm, I think. Wait for it to push over the 158.89, so 159 essentially. Get you a good close in that area for it to keep going, continuation. If you're on the riskier side, go with 157. Ride it for $2 before it takes off, hopefully. Now for the downside, this 153.50 basically is your downside with targets, pretty clean targets for the downside for scalping it. 149.69. 147, so basically every $2, and yep, every $2 on the way down for that. It's not a horrible chart. I'm kind of in the same boat as Jake had. If I play AMD, I get smacked, so I don't really play AMD. But yeah, I think that's what we got. We're at 7 o'clock here, unless you guys got some buzzer beaters that you want to get into. Our earnings, our main ones that I see are Zoom, tomorrow after close, Dick's, Best Buy, Xpeng, Dollar Tree. So if you're holding Dollar Trees from T's calls, keep that in mind. Dollar Tree's reporting Tuesday before market. Abercrombie Fitch, Burlington Coat Factory. Gap is Tuesday after close. And I think those are our main ones that most trade. Futu, I see that Wednesday before open, and Deer. Deer would be interesting for maybe a Wednesday play. All right. Well, if that's it, we'll be on in the morning. I'll have a lot of level alerts. I'll make sure that they're all set. But yeah, appreciate everybody coming out for this. Again, this is going to be super low volume week. We're going to play safe. We're going to wait for confirmations. If you're a swing trader, this might be the week that we want to study. We want to go over our patterns. We want to ask a lot of questions because as a whole, a lot of us aren't going to be trading a whole lot until we find momentum stuff. So like this is the day to get in the chat and really ask questions, and let's try to get everybody set up. This is the perfect study week. I know I am actually working Thursday. So any of you people that kind of live and breathe trading, I will be around Thursday to talk trading all day. So if we want to get into charting or whatever, you'll make my Thanksgiving go faster at least. But whatever you guys want to do, let's just make this week safe and don't force anything. Let's wait for the right play and ask a lot of questions. This is the week to study. Got anything else, Jay?
No, other than, yeah, light week. So Scalper's Paradise.
Yep. All right. I appreciate everybody for coming out. The YouTube will be right up right away, so you can share that or rewatch it, whatever you guys need. Never hesitate to hit us up with questions. And as always, brick by brick. Bye, guys.
See you guys. Have a great week.
Thank you.